John Roberts.
Sean, a couple of questions, if I could, about Chairman Nunes' visit to the White House. Fox News has been told by intelligence officials that Chairman Nunes is aware of who did the unmasking of certain individuals in the transition and may be aware of who ordered the unmasking of those individuals. Is the White House aware of that information?
I don't know what he knows. In the sense that that's and again, I've tried to make it a comment not to get into the specifics of that report. I will not. I think it's not in our interest to talk about the process. What occurred between Chairman Nunes and coming here was both routine and proper. Chairman Nunes and Ranking Member Schiff, who I understand is expected here later today, both possess the appropriate credentials and clearances. We've invited Democrats here, and I've been told that material they will see will shed light on the investigation. I know a lot of folks want to talk about the process and not the surveillance and the underlying issue. The substance, the unmasking and leaks is what we should all be concerned about. It affects all Americans, our liberties, our freedom, our civil liberties. So let's talk about some of the substance, and I know that's not, but on March 2nd, day before the President's tweet, comments by a senior administration official, foreign policy expert Dr. Evelyn Farkas, together with previous reports that have been out, raised serious concerns on whether or not there was an organized and widespread effort by the Obama administration to use and leak highly sensitive intelligence information for political purposes. She admitted this on television by saying, "I was urging my former colleagues, frankly speaking, the people on the Hill. I was telling people on the Hill, get as much information as you can, get as much intelligence as you can. I had a fear that they were essentially watching the Trump staff and he was worried about the Trump administration." That's what's out there, and I know NBC News has just reported something very similar about information that was used by the Obama White House to spread this information and this politically sensitive information. Dr. Farkas's admissions alone are devastating. On March 4th, the President, as you all know, raised serious questions about surveillance practices by the Obama administration, including whether or not the President-elect or the transition team members were being improperly monitored for political purposes under the Obama administration. Later in March, in the ordinary course of their work, NSC, National Security Council staff discovered information that may support the questions raised by the President and Dr. Farkas's claim. These are serious issues. They raise serious concerns, and if true, the issues would be devastating. We're committed to working with the House and Senate committees, as we've said multiple times, to get to the bottom of what happened here, why it happened, and who was involved. For this reason, we're in the process of ensuring that the reports that the NSC staff discovered in the normal course of business are made available to those committees investigating to ensure that all of the facts come to light. And if everyone was treating the President and the administration fairly, you'd ask a series of much different questions about the substance than the materials. As we've said before, I mean, when you talk about Russia in particular, everyone who's been briefed on this subject, from Republican to Democrat to CIA, former Obama administrations, Clapper, Brennan, you name it, all of the people come back with the same conclusion. And I think that is important, that there's been no evidence of the President's campaign and Russian officials. In fact, as you've heard me state before, it was Hillary Clinton who was the architect of the last administration's failed reset policy. She told Russian state TV that it was designed to strengthen Russia. That was their goal, to strengthen Russia. She used her office to make concession after concession, selling off 1/5 of our country's uranium. Paid speeches, paid deals, getting personal calls from Vladimir Putin. I think if there's really want to talk about a Russian connection in the substance, that's where we should be looking. That, not there.
I wasn't expecting to tap quite such a deep well with that question.
It's Friday.
Intelligence officials also tell us that Chairman Nunes knew about the documents that he viewed at the White House back in January, but ended up looking at them at the NSC SCIF only because he could not get access to those same documents through some of the other intelligence agencies. Basically, it was a last resort to come here to the White House to view them. Do you know if that is the case?
I don't. But I do think that it tracks everything that's been, you know, I saw a couple tweets the other day that I mentioned where people were saying that the NSA was trying to get documents. And I mean, from a narrative of what's been out there, and again, we've been trying to be very careful about this and try to be consistent about how we want this handled. But everything that he has said, I mean, when he came out initially and talked to the media, he made it very clear that he had been looking into this. He had stated this much earlier than the president ever had raised this issue about surveillance and the unmasking of individuals for areas that had nothing to do with Russia and nothing to do with substantive intelligence or surveillance. So I think that as we continue down this path, if you actually begin to focus really on the substance, I think we see more and more a very, very troubling and devastating path.
And just one more thing to clear up on process, if I could. We're also being told by intelligence officials that the two individuals who were identified yesterday, Ezra Cohen Watnick and Michael Ellis, were not the source for the information for the intelligence chairman. They did play an ancillary role in terms of finding some extra evidence here at the White House and helping to sign him in so that he could view the intelligence.
Yeah.
You know,
again, John, I'm not. If I start commenting on every one of these stories, that's not our practice. I mean, again, part of it is that if we confirm some things and not others, we're going to go down a very slippery slope. I can say that we've continued to say that this is, I think, the substance of this matter. And what continues to come to light in terms of Obama officials admitting, either off the record or, frankly, on the record, consistent with what Dr. Farkas says, that there was clearly an attempt to do something politically motivated with the intelligence out there. And the question is why? Who else did it? Was it ordered? By whom? But I think more and more the substance that continues to come out on the record by individuals continues to point to exactly what the president was talking about that day on March 5th.